Hey, what's up everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so we're talking about the LA Lakers. Still a Laker fan, not going anywhere even though we're 2-8. And we're more or less running into a basketball club tonight in the LA Clippers that just found a way to ease out of a game against the Cleveland Cavaliers where they got out-rebounded like crazy. Jared Allen had 20 boards, I think. Kevin Love pulled down quite a few. They just got clobbered on the boards and still managed to take the victory. Why? Because the Cleveland Cavaliers had a lot of unforced turnovers. That's what I was able to surmise. So what do the Lakers need to do against these Clippers? Well, the opposite of that. Don't turn the ball over. Give them no opportunities to have any shot at taking advantage of not being able to rebound the basketball. We need to rebound the basketball. If they're going to have rebounding issues, and we're going to have rebounding issues, and this is going to be a very, very interesting game because both of these two teams have struggled pulling down boards as of late. Now, that could be an optical illusion because obviously when you're dealing with size situations such as the Cleveland Cavaliers, then obviously you're going to have a lot of advantages. And that is what I've been trying to express to people about the Clippers. They don't have enough size. So stuff like that is going to happen to them when they run into teams with it. They're going to get clobbered on the boards. Now, unfortunately, we're not exactly full of size. No Bron James out there. No Thomas Bryant out there. And that's pretty much where we're at. We got to make sure that Anthony Davis is giving us the rebounding we need from him. I believe he had 4 boards in the last game. 11 to 18 shooting is okay, but we got to get more boards. In a game where we only pulled down, I believe, 31 as a team or 33 as a team, we definitely needed more from him. So defensively, we're a good defensive team when we go up against teams that don't stretch the floor with multiple weapons that go about 12 deep. That's what the Utah Jazz have, about 12 guys who they use in regular rotation that they continue to toss at you. We just don't have enough healthy bodies to really make ourselves competitive out there, let alone given the fact that the talent that we're using isn't that talented to begin with. It just left us in a position where we were outclassed to begin with. We kept a good fight going for a good half of basketball, but as the second half started, the Utah Jazz strung together 3 quick threes, and that pretty much sent us out of it. So, you're looking at a situation where the Lakers just have to pay attention to how they're starting third quarters and how they're managing third quarters in general, and keeping the same momentum from the first quarter that they've had, because we've started games very well. Just keep it through the rest of the 3 quarters as well, because that's ultimately what I'm seeing. We come out, get off to good starts, and then give it all back, or we'll get off to a solid start and get a nice little boost from Russell Westbrook, and then the third and fourth units give it all back. So it's like we got to find something that works, and we got to utilize it. The issue that we had against the LA Clippers in the last game, in my opinion, was that we did not get Zubac off the floor. They only have one center. Like they literally only have one center in rotation. And so all you got to do is get him in foul trouble, and they're going to have the rebounding issues that they had against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Because quite frankly, they aren't going to be able to rebound over most teams, let alone teams with a lot of size once Zubac sits down. And so that's what we need to do, is just continue to use players like Russell Westbrook and anybody that can attack for us, and just get that size off the floor so that we can rebound the ball over them. And then from there, you just got to take care of what's most important, which is the onslaught of wings that they're throwing at you. Efficiency was the name of the game for guys like Terrence Mann and Norman Powell, who I think only missed like 2 buckets apiece. So those guys were really good against Cleveland. Then you got to look at Paul George, who's going to do Paul George things. You ain't even got to worry about that. Just pencil him in for 27 points or more just about every night. But the thing about it is there will be no John Wall tonight. So that's going to be a thing. And then from what I understand, Reggie Jackson is day-to-day. So we're not sure if he's going or not. So if they are not able to get either one of those point guards on the floor, that's going to be a very, very interesting situation to see how they're able to get their offense going against us. Now, granted, we're not able to run our best out there. Obviously, as I said, Bron's not out there, and a bunch of other guys as well, including Patrick Beverley, who will still be out from what I understand. Hopefully I'm wrong about that, though. But from what I understand, he's not quite back from his illness. So since we're so undermanned, some of the elements that help us take advantage of that dynamic, I don't think are on the floor. It would really be helpful if we had Walker out there, just to kind of use his slashing and his ability to kind of go at players. in the paint. Now, I know Kendrick Nunn came out there and gave us some pretty solid efficiency for his standards, but at the end of the day, Kendrick Nunn has had a hard time doing good things for his team with the minutes given. So we will be leaning on him some more today, and hopefully he can kind of continue to kind of take the momentum from the previous matchup and carry it over into this one, because he did some good things for us and scored a lot of points. So yeah, that's a good thing. Damian Jones also played really well in that game for his standards as well. Pulled down 7 boards, which was the most for anybody on our roster, which is pathetic in and of itself. But we're happy that he was able to get 7 boards nevertheless. But we got to do better as a team. But that's going to be important, having him out there. I think he pulled down 2 blocks as well. Had some aggressive plays that forced the issue and got him to the line. So, we're asking him to do those things again. We're going to use him tonight, I'm sure. And if we do, we're just going to need him to play smart ball, man. We need the guys who played well in the last game to continue to utilize the time that they're getting to prove that they're NBA players, because we're accusing them of not being that. Let's just be honest. It's one of the things that I've been talking about. I don't think we have NBA players on our team right now. Some of our guys are masquerading as Lakers. They're not real Lakers. But nevertheless, who we have, and they have an opportunity, so they got to run out there and do the best they can. Troy Brown has been fantastic with the minutes given. I like his aggression, but we have to scale him back offensively, especially in the second half. Those possessions should be finished with Anthony Davis finishing in the paint. That's what we want. More AD. He's been falling asleep over the last 4 games in the second half of these games. Now, the last one, we did a much better job of trying to get him involved, but as I said, that dynamic with him hitting the 3 threes at the beginning of the third quarter just kind of put us in a position where we really couldn't do some of the same stuff we wanted to do, and that's basically been the excuse that Darvin Ham has given us. We find ourselves playing from behind so much that it's hard to run things to AD, who plays slow, but I don't think that's an excuse. That's like telling me we can't run the ball because we're behind if we're in football. And in certain situations, you probably should run the ball to give yourself a combo situation so you can open up the big toss, if the Hail Mary-ish type play that's necessary. If you don't run the ball, they're going to know you're throwing, and they're just going to play off of you, and they're going to wait for the ball to come their way, and they're going to batter away. You're never going to get anywhere until you become unpredictable, and that's why I think the Lakers are going about it wrong. You just need to make sure each and every possession is quality. The other team is going to make enough mistakes from possession to possession to make it make sense. You need to actually abandon that mentality and run things through AD, because the issue the Lakers have had is controlling the pace. Slowing the pace down to run things through AD in the second half effectively does that. You control the pace. So I think the Lakers should abandon that notion that they need to play fast because they're playing from behind, and understand that playing fast is why you're playing from behind. Slow it down, take some of these possessions away from these other teams, and play to the best percentages, which is obviously Anthony Davis close to the basket. So these are the type of things I just want Darvin Ham to not overthink. Don't overthink it, bro. You know what I mean? You don't have shooters. So we got to shoot less. We figured that part out. Great. All right. Now we got lesser players, but they're very aggressive. All right. So you have to tell them not to be as aggressive and get the ball to the lesser aggressive, more talented player. Period. It's a sucky dynamic that we have in place where the guys who are not as talented are more aggressive, but it is what it is. So it's up to those aggressive guys to be more aggressive in trying to get assists for themselves by making sure they get the ball to AD. So that's what I want to see. Instead of Troy Brown taking 5 and 6 threes, mid-range jumpers like he's Paul George, I don't need none of that. I need that to be Anthony Davis, and I need, again, that to be in the paint. That's all we need to be doing, honestly. I don't understand why we would even want to do anything else. And so that's what I'm hoping will happen. Anthony Davis needs to both call his number and the coach. Again, I'm not taking the onus off of Darvin Ham. We need to make a concerted effort to make that a part of our game plan, even if it's to the detriment of what this philosophy is, because he has to be working to the equation, because we got to keep his value up, because it's almost tried to trade him, and we know it. So let's just be real. It's time to trade AD. It would be good if he swings together some big-time statistical games so that we can make his price tag nice and juicy, because we all know. I think Laker Nation is unanimous in saying we want to move on from all of this, and we want a young, youthful team, and it's no secret. We like some of the young players we have on our team, and we think we need to add more talented, youthful players to them so that we can get the most out of them, too. I look at a guy like Austin Reeves. He needs to be playing with young, youthful talent. He doesn't need to be trying to motivate sluggards, old guys who are happy and fat and happy and they're good. with their careers, and that's what I think we have right now. I love what I'm seeing from Russell Westbrook, and he's not a part of that. In fact, he's the complete antithesis to that. He's coming with an understanding that he wants to extend his career, and he's going to have to make some sacrifice to do that, and he's doing the work. He's simply doing the work. He's swallowing his pride. He's starting to understand the importance of coming off the bench, and as a result, he's playing the best basketball he's played since he's gotten here, consistently, and we're happy. In fact, he's pretty much the only thing we're happy about. You know what I mean? And so I know he actually took some steps backwards in the last 2 games with turnovers and some things, but the shot is falling, the layup is falling, and that's really where we need him to be efficient. That's where it was most important, the turnovers and then his shooting efficiency. And so you could tell he's been working with shooting coaches. You could tell he's putting in the work. You could tell he's breathing and taking his time and working his progressions and remembering who he was and is. And in doing so, he's making plays that make others better. He's made AD look better in certain situations. He's made Troy Brown look better in certain situations. And I think he's going to continue to do that so long as we continue to empower him and encourage him with good energy and cheers. Because I think booing begets more anxiety, which begets more turnovers and missed shots and bad decision making. But if we continue to cheer him, he becomes more confident, and he's able to give us what ultimately comes with that confidence, which is the best basketball play possible with triple doubles every damn night. So we need to continue to build this man up, and when he reverts back to the old ways, we need to ignore that and continue to encourage him, because that's ultimately going to get us what we need out of him, I believe. And I think this is going to be just fine. I don't think the Lakers should trade him, because attaching 2 picks to get rid of him is no longer something we're looking at. Now we're looking at how we can continue to keep picks and get more picks. So obviously getting rid of him is going to cost us picks, so that's not what we want to do anymore. So we're very clear. So we want Russell Westbrook to stay at this point unless we get some out of this world deal that makes our socks blow off and ultimately make us a better team for the long term and the short term together. If we can't get a deal that does that, I say keep him, keep our picks, let him come off the books at $47 million, and understand, breathe in the truth, and get excited about what exactly that actually means. When I say $47 million will be free to give to the field at the end of this season, we're getting somebody. And when I say somebody, that somebody is going to be a lot of somebodies if we're doing it right. $47 million can net you a whole team if you do it right, especially given what we're running around with right now. You give us $47 million, yeah, we can revamp this entire thing. So get excited about that. See the fruit in that. Not only that, but because this is going to go well, I think we're going to get Russell Westbrook back playing this way at a price tag that we can love at the beginning of next season. Now, I know we're a long way away from wanting that or whatever, but the way he's been playing these last couple of days, I don't see why his career can't extend. And I don't think there are going to be too many other teams that are going to want him but us in the event that takes place. If he's playing like this, ain't nothing wrong with that, because what I see is a player who can help us on the boards automatically, and we're a trash rebounding team right now, and somebody who can push the pace and get to the rim and be efficient if he can just keep this up, keep his confidence up. Now, if he reverts back to the old Russell Westbrook, then we'll react to that the same way we did last week. But as long as he's on this, we can dream about good days ahead. So that's really what it's about. Our organizational focus has shifted from let's improve this team to let's get us a young core over the next 2 years. And let's move on from this tenure with LeBron James that has served us a championship for which we are ever so grateful. But at this point, it's just about moving on and giving ourselves a chance in the future so that we can have more championships to celebrate and not have it hanging on the balance with AD's health and LeBron James, which is an older guy now. So, we just got to be smart. It ain't about being disloyal or not appreciating guys. I know guys are going to look at that like, well, you're giving up too soon. I'm going to play till I'm 55. Yeah, that's dope, bro. I hope you do. And I want you to do it in a Laker uniform, but you can't be the focus if that's what's going to be. That's not smart for the organization to make you the focus. Nah. You know what I mean? If you're going to do that, whether you're playing at a high level or not, because of your age, you got to respect the fact that the organization needs to build around youth. And as you prove yourself to be that level of player every year, then that's just a bonus for what it is that comes with having you a part of what they're doing. But if they're building around you, they're doing it wrong. And LeBron James needs to know that. He needs to know that and believe it so that he doesn't be offended by it. There's a right way to do things and there's a wrong way to do things. And the way that he wants us to do things is the wrong way to do things. You do not build around somebody who's 38 years of age. You don't do it. Now, if they're playing at a great level for the next 4 years, that's wonderful. Don't get it twisted. He's very possible he does this. But it doesn't mean that you build around him and make him the focal point. Nuh-uh. No. It's just the wrong way to do things. And so that's what it is, man. We understand that. We're going to preach it. We're going to talk it. We're going to hope that it gets to the right eardrums. And we want to see our team better, man. I want to see our team better. You know, and that's what it's about. So it's going to take some hard stuff, some hard decisions to get us to a point where we're there. But if we continue to kick the can down the road with this franchise looking the way that it is, then we're not going to feel good about any of these games that we're going to be going up against, the Clippers, anybody else. And in a night like tonight, we're going up against a team like this, Terrence Mann and Paul George, and Powell and Zubats, and all these different players who are playing at a high level. We want to have a team that we know can compete, not a team that we know is not going to represent us in a way that even gives us a chance against our rivals. And that is what we have right now. LeBron James is sitting with a foot injury. I don't expect us to win tonight's basketball game. I'm not going to fool you guys and expect that. Paul George should take care of business. You know what I mean? And that's just unfortunate because we are a proud bunch of Laker fans and we love hating the Clippers. But it ain't nobody going to sit up here and lie to you. If we win this game, we'll have a lot to talk about, but it ain't going to be because we thought we were the better team. No, not today. And that's on the front office. They got to fix that. It ain't Darvin Ham's fault. I'm already hearing some of the lesser understanding Laker fans saying it's Darvin's fault. No, it is not. No, he was never given a good roster. Just like Frank wasn't given a good roster. You know what I mean? These guys were not given a good roster. And so let's just keep that in mind as we move forward. And that's that. Get them a better roster and we can assess them from there. But you know, I'm not of the mindset that we need to be blaming anybody other than the front office and LeBron James for what we're seeing here, because those are the people that are in charge of why this roster looks the way it is and why the moves were made that ultimately got us to this point. So that's what I gotta say, man. As far as this game's tonight, you know, it's like I always tell you guys, I wouldn't put no money on the Lakers. No, sir. If they happen to win, great, but the percentages are real. We're 2-8. That's who we are. That's exactly who we are. Especially if Bron ain't running. That's who we are. You know, but there are things this team can do to get better. 3-point shot, we've been shooting it better. Shooting less of them, shooting a better percentage. Hopefully we can keep that up. Turnovers, we've been hovering in between 9 and 20. So it varies every night, but we're working on it. You know, field goal percentages, things of that nature. We can get better. But our defense has waned over the last several games. And I think it has to do with some of the teams that we've played, to be honest with you. And I think that's also part of what's going on with this team. We've run into the toughest schedule probably anyone's faced. You know, if you really look at who we've played, nothing but contenders. Nothing but teams that are going to be in the playoffs and should do damage when they get there. So that tells me that our schedule should, in theory, loosen up. Here's the problem. I don't know that it matters because I do believe we're the worst team in the NBA. So even as it loosens up, we still, every night, running lesser talent against them, whoever they are. And that's the problem. With respect to AD and Bron, those two bodies, you set them aside and you look at the rest of the 15, and those are the ones we're talking about. The rest of the 13 or whatever. Those are the guys. So you're like, you can't match them versus really anybody, any of the teams in the league. And so, as I said, for Jeannie, if she wants things to be better, she's going to have to encourage them to call up some guys, that are not on the team right now. Some of the names that we let walk away, some of the guys she refused to pay because they didn't have clutch attached to their name or what have you. You need to go call those guys back, say sorry, and get them back on this team. Seriously, I'm not even joking. Because I know that's what it is. We kept some dudes here because they're affiliated with Clutch, and the team ain't so Clutch because of it. So it is what it is. We got to undo that nonsense and get this coach a roster that he can work with. Right? It's a team that we can root for. Keep some of the pieces that we like, some of the ones that have upside, but for the most part, it's Yeah, it's Lakers over everything. So I'm not interested in any more excuses. I'm not interested in kicking the can down the road with this roster. I want us to get the best deal for Anthony Davis that we can find when it makes sense to do so, and I want us to get the best return for him at that time. You know what I'm saying? That's what this is about. Not getting the first deal. Uh, Not waiting till the well is dry either. There's no way of really knowing when you got the best deal. To be honest with you, we've learned that throughout this summer. But if Jeannie's not going to fire Rob, then she should allow Rob to make that deal. You get AD to a place where he can play well and make sure we get back good quality of cost level assets. I cannot stress this enough. Do not let him pull another Stanley Johnson THT for Patrick Beverley type of value. That is not what we are here for. We want the level that the players are playing at to match the trade that we're making. Honest to God, because I really, really, really don't want these bad fantasy basketball playing GMs running my team. You know what I'm saying? I feel that way. Guys that don't know who's playing current right now. You know, I look at a guy like, I don't even want to mention name, because I was going to go into someone who's actually playing well, just segueing because that's how my brain works. But nevertheless, I want to segue from that conversation to say that there are some LA Clippers who have played well who need to be talked about because they're going to give us trouble tonight. That way this makes sense. Marcus Morris is playing well right now. 20 points he gave the LA Clippers in the last game, I believe it was. He's a guy who tends to play here and there, but he has a lot of confidence against the LA Lakers, and I expect for him to continue his hot shooting ways against us tonight. So we need to be very careful of the Morris twin tonight. He's the Morris twin that is not our friend. We won a championship with the other one. This the op. We need to make sure that we get him and keep an eye on him on both sides of the floor because he's going to do damage for the team. So that's what I see. A bunch of wings, man. They got wings on this Clipper team. You must understand that, you know. And because they may be out of some of their point guards, we may see some names like Preston tonight, of whom I'm not sure what he can do. Coffee may get some extra minutes tonight, that kind of thing. Guys that they don't usually use may actually get some minutes tonight because of the absence of John Wall and maybe Reggie Jackson. So, yeah, I think their continuity is going to be really iffy if they don't have those point guards out there. And if that is the case, the Lakers may be able to exploit that with some defensive ways. But the problem with that is we're missing some of those players that would otherwise exploit that. So that's the concern. So yeah, that's the thought, man. I just want the Lakers to get better. I want the Lakers to find some diamond in the rough players that nobody's looking at, and bring them to the team and give them an opportunity in the second half of the season. Because we're gonna suck. We know it. It ain't even a question about that. It's just how we're gonna suck. We know Bron's gonna be here. We know that. Question is AD gonna be here? That's what it's all about. And we are officially shifting our mind frame from, yeah, we're giving up 2 picks to hell nah, you can't have no picks. Ain't no way we giving up no picks. No way in hell. Oh, and last but not least, if for some reason Josiah decides to waive Kyrie Irving, yes, I do want us to sign Kyrie Irving. I don't care what the team looks like. Just put him on our roster and prepare for next season. Get him signed and prepare to keep him as a weapon for next season. That's how you do that. You don't play around with one of the greatest talents in the world just because they got some weird smear campaign and all that crap. We don't care about that. It's about the name on the front of the jersey. And if he can help us at a price tag that we can use, we will accept him in. And that's how I feel about Kyrie Irving. Obviously, you guys know I'm a supporter, so I'm kind of biased about that. But as it pertains to his talent, obviously, we need to consider it. Obviously. Given who we are, what we got, and our talent pool, and what it is we're trotting out there in Laker uniform, the Lakers would disgrace themselves if they were to turn Kyrie Irving away. That's how I feel about it at this point. We can't afford to turn away somebody that good, as bad as we are. So, that's what I got to say about that, man. I don't care how good the Clippers appear to be. They are not a contender because they don't have enough size. Until they get themselves some size, I'm not taking them seriously. I want people to understand that. I've said that a million times, and let that be clear. But as far as beating us, yes, they can beat us. Yes, they can beat us. We need to take them very seriously. And so that's really what it comes down to. Zubac's ate a lot in the last game. So get him in foul trouble and see that doesn't happen again. That's it. That's what I got, man. it ain't too much I want to say about this game. I'm not expecting much. I will be watching. I'll, of course, come back to you guys at halftime and after the game for more of my thoughts. Maybe even some more stuff in between that, of course, since the day's long and there'll be a lot to say, I'm sure. But yeah, man, I'm just looking at my Lakers and saying, listen, I don't know what I should anticipate over the next couple of games, next couple of days, right? I'd imagine if we suck, I'm gonna be like, I want things blown up. I'm imagine if we win, I'm gonna say, okay, that's good. Let's continue to work on. I'm excited. But the reality is, none of this even matters anymore. And I don't think blowing it up with the first trade that we see is the right thing, as I've already said. So, whatever I'm going to be saying over the next couple of weeks as this team continues to kick its can down the road, at the end of the day, I just want us to make the right moves in resetting our timeline as of right now. That's basically what I'm saying. Now, when you start that process, I don't care how, as long as you do it right. But as of right now, that should be the only focus. Blow it up. Start over, end the LeBron James tenure, end the AD tenure, and let's figure out what we're going to do next with picks. Video 44. Thank you all for watching. Enjoy the game.